disclaimer, I tried to get this video down as short as possible, but it just didn't work out. It's at 17 minutes. But nonetheless, I think this video will be very helpful to you guys, so I hope you all enjoy despite the time. Hi guys, thanks so much for clicking on today's video. Today we have another faith talk. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about something that's very near and dear to my heart, and that's social media and our faith, the effect that social media has on our faith. Social media is a great thing. It's something that we can't really avoid. It's our lives these days, especially this generation growing up. We're practically on it 24/7, and it does have some positive aspects that it can bring to our life. However, there are some negative aspects to it, and I feel like for me, I have fallen victim to those things, and I just have to take a step back and evaluate my life and myself, how I treat myself, how I think about things, how I think about others, how I think about myself, my faith, how I think about God, how often do I even think about Him. And so I had to take a step back and evaluate myself and figure out if I needed a break from social media. That happens. You do sometimes need a break. And so in this video, I'm going to be talking about how I kind of evaluated and deciphered that. And then I'm also going to give you some tips or solutions as to how I overcame the rut, I guess you can say, I was in due to social media overload. If you aren't subscribed, please go ahead and do so by clicking that red button down there so you can keep up with the lovely content that I create for you guys. And also make sure you comment throughout the video. I really do appreciate you guys' feedback and things that you're going through, because it lets me know that I'm not alone. And this is a very vulnerable topic for me just because I'm dealing with it right now. So just to hear you guys' opinion and feedback really does help me. And it can also help you and other people in the world who watch this video. So yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So how to know you need a break from social media. And I also have my notes here just in case I look down, but there were like a series of questions that I asked myself during the first period. I'm still going through this, so during the beginning of all of this, I asked myself a series of questions, and all of them led to like an unhealthy yes. Like, it was crazy. But the first thing I asked myself, or how you know pretty much, is when it starts to affect your faith. Yeah, me personally, like, there was a disconnect between me and God. I didn't go into prayer as much. I didn't reach for my Bible as often. And so little things like that just started to add up, and it would be like every other day to every other week, and it was just horrible. And I mean, I admit that that's pretty bad. I mean, and I would use the Bible app, but like I would get on the Bible app, read the verse of the day, and it's like, okay, cool, that's a cool verse, and then I'm back to my regular scheduled program where I rushed to Instagram, and it just became so unhealthy. So when it starts to affect your faith, that's when you know that it's time to take a break. And also a disclaimer, I do highly encourage you guys to be transparent with yourselves and honest with yourselves, because nobody knows you but you. Or only you spend so much time with yourself and your thoughts and the things that you do, and only you know your truth other than God. So it's best to be 100% honest when dealing with something like this, so you can know how to attack it and how to maneuver around it and catch it before it gets worse. Another thing I ask myself is when you spend an excessive amount of time on it. So for me personally, I would literally wake up, not even say thanks God for this beautiful life that you've given me, none of that. I just would get on Instagram, and if I could estimate the amount of hours I spent a day on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, all of the social media sites, I would say a good like 4 or 5, an unhealthy amount of time. It would be hours of me spending time on social media, just scrolling. And yeah, it just got like that. So I spent an excessive amount of time on it, which led to me feeling unmotivated, bored. Let me scroll on Instagram to see what's going on. I don't have nothing else to do. And so it became something like that. So if that's you and you said yes to that, you might want to take a break. when you reach for it more often than you should. Like I said, as soon as I woke up early in the morning, I would reach for my phone, not to go get the Bible verse of the day, not to check the weather, not to say a prayer, none of that. I would get on it to get on social media, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. Now, of course, there's nothing wrong with that if you do that every now and then, but it became a thing where I would do it every single morning, and that's when it becomes a problem because it's starting to consume and control you pretty much. So yeah, I would reach for, when I'm at work, like on my break, I would spend almost all my break on social media, which is also not bad, but every break I'm spending my break on social media. It just got super duper like over the top. So if that is something that you got going on, a break is probably what you should be doing. When it starts to dictate your feelings, your opinions, and your decisions. Social media has the power to persuade. That is no given secret. Like, that's nothing that no one ever not knows. Like, it has the power to persuade us, whether it persuades us in a positive way or a negative way. That's up to us, and also we have control over that. And to me, I feel like I let social media in so much that it dictated how I felt about myself in certain ways. And I won't get into any details or anything. It just dictated how I made decisions about my life and about, certain things that I would post. And it's just like, none of that really matters. None of this stuff really matters. And my feelings toward people, my feelings toward stuff that I would think, say, or do myself. And it just kind of took over. And that's where, for real, like, yes, when I saw that it was starting to affect my faith, I was like, yeah, okay, for real. Like, I gotta take a break. But when it started to affect how I felt about myself and my life and the people around me and like my friends and stuff in negative ways, that's when I was like, okay, this has to come to some type of end. I have to get control over my life. And I'm making it sound a lot more dramatic than what it is. It really wasn't that bad, but it was bad to me because I was starting to realize how much of an effect social media had on my life. And then lastly, when it becomes way harder for you to detach yourself from it. I have been needing to detach myself from social media for months. Literally months, and I kept putting it off because I was just like, I don't want to miss anything. And I followed the Shade Room and, all these celebrity sites, and they post a lot of negative stuff more than positive stuff. So I would be so wrapped up and consumed in that stuff. And then the stuff my friends were posting, people were going on trips and living their life and this and that. And I was like, oh my gosh, I cannot lose out on this. I want to see it. And it just got really hard for me to detach myself from it. And what made me kind of start to just realize, okay, girl, you just got to stop, is when I asked myself all of these questions. When there was no type of no or no type of maybe, I don't do this stuff all the time. No, it was like everything that I asked that I previously mentioned in this video was a complete yes. And it was an unhealthy yes. And so that's when I learned that, okay, I just need to cut it off in some type of way. It cannot consume me. It cannot control me. So pretty much social media just became an idol in my life. I felt like it became almost like my master. And once you do an assessment on yourself and you realize how much it has a control over your life, you too will start to feel like maybe this is an idol. Maybe this is something that I need to take a break from. And if you look at Ephesians 5:11, it says, take no part in worthless deeds of evil and darkness, instead expose them. So when you finally realize that there is something wrong with the thing that you are putting so much time and effort in, you have to expose it. You can't leave it in the darkness because it'll continue to eat at you and do all the negative things that it is doing to you. So for me personally, when I exposed it, when I said it's social media that is the one that's making me feel this way, making me feel unmotivated and all these other negative aspects of life, that's when I started to immediately take control back over my life. You have to expose the things that are doing damage to you. You cannot hold them in. You cannot ignore them because they will only make things worse. And at some point, it'll come to a point where you just have to get off. Also, in Matthew 6, verse 24, it says, "No one can serve two masters, for you will hate one and love the other. You will be devoted to one and despise the other." You cannot serve God and be enslaved to, this verse said money, but in this sense, to anything. You can't serve both. You have to have a happy balance, I feel like, if you're going to do both, because social media is not this evil thing. It can produce a lot of fruit in your life. It can produce a lot of positivity, especially when you are following people who are very positive. But when you're receiving the negativity of people you follow, that can also affect you. And in this case, social media can be a master. It can control and consume your life. And when you have something in the forefront of your life that's not God, then it puts you in a place where you're having to choose between the two. And you should always want to choose God. That should be the person who is the forefront of your mind, the person who is your focus, and God should be your purpose. And so I feel like social media can sometimes strip us away from the main focus of our lives, which is God, which is eternal life, which is our life after all of this. We all know God loves us and he cares about us and he wants the best for us. So why are we putting all our effort into social media and putting all of our time and our energy and our thinking thoughts, all of that stuff into social media, when we could be putting it towards God and living in a much happier life, having a more productive day, and all of the above? Speaking of productive energy, I've also felt like social media burned me out. I feel like I was always trying to keep up with the latest thing, the latest fashions, the latest everything, the latest gossip, and it just burned me out mentally, spiritually, emotionally. It was just draining, all the negativity that was online. I just feel like social media has this stigma where you always have to seem like you have it together, especially on Instagram. God forbid you post an ugly picture. Oh my God, it's the end of the world. So I feel like everybody's always trying to seem perfect. Everybody's always trying to seem like they have it together, always trying to seem like they're cute and perfect. And I know for a fact that's not me. So trying to keep up with something like that is very, very hard, very, very draining. And I just got burnt out. So if you can relate to all of the things that I just mentioned, I have some solutions for you that may help you out because they've helped me out and it's been a great thing. So listen up. Try fasting. Fasting, fasting, fasting. Fasting. You're gonna have to take a break from social media. Taking a break means fasting, completely cutting ties from social media for a certain amount of time. Now, I've done just complete fasting where I've just cut all the social medias off cold turkey, not deleting my accounts, but simply just deleting the apps from my phone so that I can focus and restore my faith and just focus on myself and where I am right now. And that's something that you may have to do as well. I felt like it was going to be the hardest thing to do to start my fasting, but all it took, honestly, was for me to delete the app. Press down the app until it brings up the X and delete it. Delete, delete, delete. And then it's like, I have all this time. What can I do? Oh yeah, I can read the Bible. Oh yeah, I can pray. Oh yeah, I can watch that movie that I really wanted to watch. Oh yeah, I can start doing such and such. Like I can start on this goal. I can write me a goal list. I can go hang out with my friends that I've been avoiding because I'm so caught up in the social media and my image. You know, so it produces a lot of time once you finally just say, I'm ready to take a break from social media. So for me, as of right now, I am doing intermittent fasting, and that is referred to when it comes to like gym life or like healthy lifestyle type of stuff. But for me, I feel like it applies to fasting in other ways in your life as well. So intermittent fasting is pretty much just fasting at odd times in life for a certain amount of time. So it's fasting, but it's just for a certain period of time, basically. So what works for me is Monday through Friday, no social media. So that means I delete my Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, Facebook, and the only things that I do have on my phone is YouTube and YouTube, because I feel like YouTube instills a lot more positivity than negativity in my life. I watch a lot of inspiring people who do vlogs, who inspire me in positive ways, who motivates me in positive ways. I also look up sermons from time to time on there. So I keep YouTube just because I do use that in a more positive way rather than Instagram, Snapchat, and them. I just use that just to, waste time and soak up all the negative energy that can sometimes be on there. I've been doing it for a week now, which prompted me to do this video because I feel so much better after just taking a break and just taking control over my life. I feel like I have control. I feel like the devil has not won this fight, and I just feel so much more recharged. I feel closer to God. I feel like I'm able to hear him more. I'm able to talk to him more clearly, and I have more time to actually spend with him versus like, oh, I gotta get back to Instagram, so let me say this quick prayer and go on about my day. So yours doesn't have to be Monday through Friday. It could be maybe Tuesdays and Thursdays. You just want to restrict yourself in certain types of ways. So maybe don't spend as much time on Instagram. Maybe give yourself an hour a day on Instagram. So you have to kind of section off your time and be honest with yourself. If you've spent more than an hour, then don't give yourself another 15 minutes at the end of the day because you just want to go and see something right quick. Nope, stay true to it. So that's why I just say just delete the app altogether, because to me, I don't have that much self-control just to be like, okay, only an hour. I will definitely go over the hour. Sometimes it's not even the app in general, it's just certain people. So you may have to fast from different people that you follow. You may have to take control by fasting from other people. I know that may be hard, especially unfollowing people getting their feelings when you unfollow them, but that may be something you have to do for yourself and for your own sanity, for your own faith. So yes, I encourage you guys to fast, whether it's for a day, whether it's for 2 days, a week, a month. Me, I'm going to go as long as I need to. I didn't really set a boundary as far as how long my fasting will be. But from Monday through Friday, I'm going to be fasting from social media. And it has done wonders for the first week. So from this point forward, if I need to do it, then by all means I will. So I'm gonna leave some scriptures for you guys to hold on to during this rough time in your life between you and social media, but I want to let you guys know that you are not alone. So these scriptures will also show you that, and then also this video I hope showed you that as well. So guys, I hope that made sense. I know I went in all types of ways in this video, and honestly, I'm teaching myself with this video, so I really appreciate you guys for even taking the time to listen out to me. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure you give me a big thumbs up because it helps me out a lot and it lets me know that you guys like this content that I'm giving you guys. And also make sure you comment down below. Like I said, I love hearing from you. And last but not least, make sure you're subscribed so you can keep up with the lovely content that I create for you guys. So yeah, without further ado, this video is done, so I will catch you guys in my next one. Bye.